First and foremost, I don't give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to all Yakim on our high and about bidding to the marriage, teaching his work sincerely and faithfully. Continuing on from my last video, talking about the end of Babylon, the end of America, right? People would see America as this country like, damn, we saw the way he took the country. You would think of a person like this, how could he ever fall? And look at the, technological advances, the military, the laptops, tablets, or whatever, flat screen, tanks, jets, submarines. But every kingdom has a rulership, no matter what technology it has, right? Esau's the Lord's gonna take down Esau, though, because no one else could, So Esau's over for Esau, look at the title. America's not the greatest country in the world anymore. Because this is the guy in the video, right? He avoids some of the questions. But it isn't, At one point it was somewhat of a great country for Esau, of course, but now it's fallen. To Jake, this probably right now to Jake is probably like, this is the greatest country in the world right now. Jake would think that right now. But no, when it was at its peak is when Esau, according to Esau, right? This is Esau, because he knows he's losing power. That's when it was at its peak, because now Esau's losing power. He doesn't have the same influences, as he did before. Jake has more freedom now. Jake's heaven is Esau's hell, because Esau doesn't enjoy Jake enjoying his thing, right? An Israelite being able to buy a car, being able to drive down past his house, live right next to him. Esau don't like that. The so-called illegal aliens are taking his jobs, right? This is vexing him, right? He's the minority, because he knows he's finished. He doesn't have the same country as he did before, when he could just kick people, hang people, mutilate, castrate, whatever sick, vile thing he did, to our people. He can't do that. He still can get away with it, but not to a certain extent now, because now he's getting persecuted. He didn't have the same freedoms and liberties as he used to. But I'm gonna read this video. I'll show the video.
Yes, sir. My name's Steven. I'm a junior, and my question's for Will McAvoy. Do you consider yourself a Democrat, a Republican, or independent?
I consider myself a New York Jets fan, Steven. Since it's been brought up, you've almost religiously avoided stating or even implying a political allegiance. Is that because, as a news anchor, you feel the integrity of your broadcast would be compromised?
That sounds like a good answer. I'll take it.
There was a short piece on Vanity Fair's website by Marshall Westbrook. You probably saw it, where he calls you the Jay Leno of news anchors. You're popular because you don't bother anyone.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Jealous of the size of Jay's audience.
Are you willing to say here tonight whether you lean right or left?
I voted for candidates run by both major parties.
Let's move on to the next question. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm a sophomore, and this is for all three of you. Can you say in one sentence or less what... you know what I mean. Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Lewis?
Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
Diversity and opportunity. Esau, just because there's a lot of mixing doesn't mean you treat the same people equally. Esau still got that Esau still has leverage, obviously, his kingdom. Esau is pretty biased in his justice system, so it's like if you're rich and you're an Edomite, you probably have a better chance than a Jake that's, you know, has more pigmentation with less money. Or you can have money, it'll still get persecuted. Esau is doing the same thing with all these older celebrities like Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, all these. It doesn't even matter if you have money or not. You know, if Esau thinks your deadline is there, it's there. You know, so diversity. And speaking on freedom, Jake go to prison for no reason. For an ounce of weed, they'd be in life in prison. You know, not trying to justify smoking because that's still wicked. You know, but the crime should fit the sentence. You know, like that's outrageous. You know, Jake were pressured into a. You know, I think there was a story of three uh, Israelites going to prison in New York. They're like 14, 15, and 16. They've been doing prison for like 50 years over a crime they didn't commit, and they were pressured into admitting to it that they didn't do. You know? So there's freedom, you know, but the three strike rule, is that freedom, right?
Well, the New York Jets.
No, I'm going to hold you to an answer on that. What makes America the greatest country in the world?
Well, Lewis and Sharon said it: diversity and opportunity, and freedom and freedom. You don't look satisfied.
I want a human moment from you. What about the people? Why is
It's
America
not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying
Yes.
Let's talk about
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of her paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime, column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always?
Hey.
And with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yeah, you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of
Israelites.
adults who believe angels are real, and
Number of adults who believe angels are real. You know, he's basically mocking. You know, this is Esau, man. You know, this is him. You know,
defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite? Sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people.
you gonna play that sad garbage music. Esau's a demon. He thinks he's so innocent, like he's such a saint. Yeah, look at this. Esau. We didn't attack poor people. Yes, the fuck he did. You know, Jake is poor. What the hell are you talking about? You're enslaving a man who has nothing. Isn't he a poor man? Aren't you oppressing a poor man? The 3 strike rule, you know, whites only restaurants, you know, all these, you know, Jim Crow, the Willie Lynch letter, the white line, I forgot what you call it. What you call it? Jaywalking. All these things Esau did, these massacres all throughout the United States, and he's talking about freedom and right. We fought. He was right on something. America is not the number one, but this is a whole lot of garbage at the end. Look, what else does he say? America's a good,
We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put
You cared about it, dude. You little demon.
our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy.
But how did he get all of that, though? How did he get it? See, he's also a freaking idiot, bro. He's also a dumbass. That's all he does is talks about the things he achieved. Man, but how did you get those things?
We reached for the stars.
This garbage, sad music. I hate this country, man. I make people feel bad for fuck this country.
Acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. Enough?
No, but that's Esau. He knows that this country's over. Words lived by. Esau said there's no racism in America. But this is Esau's a damn contradiction. He's a walking backwards. He's just the devil. People think this guy different, but it's the American in him that is showing and considering very relevant. And if this was off the top, then even more incredible. We waged war on poverty, not poor people. So true. And wage war on poverty, not poor people. Esau's a demon. I really believe this garbage. I served in the military for 10 years, both the Marine Corps and in the Air Force. I'm not reading all this. If you really love this country, you would appreciate everything he's saying. This message actually speaks volumes about the current state of America. I am from Civic Republic and never visited the USA, but still the ending made me tear up. Such a powerful speech. Oh my God. Even though I am not an American, I feel what and how he feels about his country, a picture to another. His thoughts about America are emotionally driven. I state the same facts, really a measure of health, education, and happiness. There obviously are better countries. You can state a fact and still love your country. It takes a true American to realize the faults in America, and better still, it takes a great American to fix and start and end with all of us. Man, this country's over, bro. Shut the hell up. I'm tired of Esau thinking he's gonna. See, America's finished. The Lord, the Lord would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed, right? Because this country's over. America's finished. I'm gonna get this. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. Heaven, his social status, where he's at, and he's on high, right? So-called white man. He's been conquering and destroying and stealing and robbing and pillaging, raping. No one could say anything to him. His hedge, he had a hedge about him. The Lord was from Cain. Esau had a hedge about him for so long now. Hast thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? You know, sanctions, embargoes. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will send it to heaven, right? Space stations, airplanes, jets. I'll exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. You know, this is his heart. This is what he believes. Cloning, artificial intelligence. You know, trying to create babies without mothers and fathers or whatever from the machine wombs. Yet thou shalt be, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. You know, he's gonna be brought down low, right? Talking about his status, his structure, like his infrastructure, like where he's at in the world. He's on top right now, right? People look up to him. The Asian community, you know, China loves him. Hey, what's the most favorite, most well-known anime character is Goku, right? But when he transformed, what does he look like? A complete Edomite. Blonde hair and blue eyes is his transformation, right? Naruto, blonde hair and blue eyes. You know, these are. But Dragon Ball Z is one of the most well-known and most famous animes out there. You know, everybody loves Dragon Ball Z. It's been on since the 90s, 80s. I don't know. You know, but it's been out there a while. It's lucky, but that's telling you right there who's in control. Why when he transforms, he gets blonde hair and blue eyes? Isn't that, you know, that's Edomite trait. So why would Ammon, you know, but it's showing you who has control over this. You know, for thou hast said in that, right? They that see thee, thou nearly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? But, you know, he's gonna look like a caveman, right? He's gonna be like hairy, just like their great forefather Esau, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. So, isn't that Esau? Right? Is he not opening the house of his prisoners? Right? You know, Esau was talking about that video like, we don't wage war on poor people, we wage war on poverty or whatever the heck he said. You know, he's a demon. He's a demon still. His country, so-called white man's upset because his country's failing. All right, this is Esau's heaven. So whatever Esau is feeling good about in this country, Jake is feeling the exact opposite, or he should be feeling the exact opposite. They're not talking, you know, talking about how he wants to live here. You know, but that's telling you, but that the Lord is coming back. You know, the signs of America failing, showing that the Lord is almost here. Matthew 24, and I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna start from 3. Matthew 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, disciples came unto him, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Yahushua, and shall deceive many. Ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, right? Russia, NATO, North Korea, India, Pakistan, South Korea. You know, all these places, Israel, all these places are gonna be at war, right? You're gonna hear of it. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But then it's not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, right? And kingdom against kingdom. Not only countries, but ethnicities, like race groups, you know? And there shall be famine and pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. This has been happening really frequently. You know, earthquakes, pestilence, and famines. You know, I've been hearing a lot about famine and pestilence more than anything. You know, it's telling you what days we're in. You know, if people can't see, Jake just don't read the scripture. Jake is dumb. You know, Jake is just, I don't know, man. The heathens see something's coming. Jake is the only one, man. Not but in a bag of rocks. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then they shall deliver you to be afflicted, and shall kill you. You shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. But yeah, this is all begin. You know, we're gonna be persecuted, right? Oh yeah, this is just the same thing. Jake, not only that, but Jake be asking dumb questions. No, I'm gonna get that later. Actually, just gonna go into it. Matthew 12:36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in a day of judgment. So you're gonna have to answer to everything to Yahushua in that day. Jake be asking, where was Yahushua? Where was God during slavery? Why? But it was the reason why we went through what we went through is because we disobeyed him, right? But Jake, all this disrespect the Lord's been getting. If there's God, he would do this. God, But when Yahushua comes down, you're gonna the answer to all of it. How you gonna answer? How you gonna? The Lord's gonna come face to face, the Son of the Most High. How you gonna answer to that? You're not gonna be able to, right? People are gonna be getting burned up for the question, for the not question, but the way they disrespect the Most High. They all want to insult the Lord. Like, where was he during slavery? If he was really good, is he all good? Why the hell wasn't he there for us? But so it's like you adding on. You're talking a lot. You're talking really reckless. But people the only reason why they like that is because Yahushua ain't here yet. But when he said, then that's when everybody's gonna change tunes and want to get right. But when they see spiritual powers, they elect as. That's when people want to do the right thing. But it's gonna be too late. You should have been walking with fear and trembling before that even happened. But I'm gonna read this article. It's gonna be a quick article. America's pandemic failures. U.S. seemed ready for the monkeypox outbreak. It had vaccine and treatment that are effective, and experts have studied the virus for decades. Wait, what? I thought this thing is new. See what I'm talking about? Look at this. Okay, let's read this. Let's rephrase this. You see that right there? Studied the virus for decades. So you're telling me this thing been out for a couple of decades? 40, 50, that's basically what they're saying. But I only heard about it this year. But they said they've been studying this virus for decades. Unless you made the virus and put it in a lab, that's the only way you can study something. Because how did you have something, then somehow it went airborne? See, Esau's already snitched. Esau, man, is not, he's a devil. Look at him. He's already telling them, if you see the way how you can study a virus that's supposedly came out in 2022, right? And all of a sudden you've been studying it for a decade. Yeah, you made it in the lab, you devil. That the U.S. response has fallen short. The country cannot use millions of vaccine doses it owned because they were not bottled for distribution. The available vaccine and medication remain out of reach for a vast majority of Americans, result of poor communication by federal officials and of other bureaucratic barriers. Monkeypox is not very deadly, so this is not a COVID-level catastrophe. But the flawed response suggests that nearly 3 years after COVID first appeared, the U.S. still unprepared for the next pandemic. Oops, we forgot to get the vaccines out there to you guys. There's no reason why they're not getting the vaccines, because people ain't gonna take it, right? They see how COVID. That doesn't make no sense. Look how this whole thing is flawed. First, they said they studied the virus for decades. So why don't you have vaccines prepared for this pandemic or this virus that you've been studying? If you study this, why ain't there vaccines already made? Why were they decades in the making? Why are they not made yet? You know what I mean? But Esau, he knows people are not gonna take it. And people aren't gonna go for it. So what he's gonna do is gonna get people sick purposely so people could die. You know, it's not very deadly, so this is not a COVID level catastrophe. The CDC director Rochelle acknowledged that much yesterday. She called her agency to be overhauled after an external review found it had failed to respond quickly and clearly to COVID. She faulted the agency for acting too much like an academic institution that was focused on producing data for publication instead of data for action. For 75 years, CDC and public health have been preparing for COVID-19. And in our big moment, our performance did not reliably meet expectations, Walensky said. Unclear communication. Man, you know what? Esau, all I gotta say is Esau thinks he's slick. He knew about this. He planned it. And, yeah, we knew. We've been studying these vaccines and we've been studying monkeypox. They studied the virus for decades, the monkeypox specifically, for decades, but yet you somehow don't got a vaccine made. Yo, Esau thinks he's slick. You know, who are you fooling? You know, Esau knew about this because he made it. He's a devil. You know, this is what he does. He just creates chaos and he try to come up with a solution. So what he's gonna do is right. I, I speak as a man, right? Not knowing, but I think he's gonna get people sick purposely so he can offer the offer. He may even offer the the Karagma. I'm gonna say Karagma, shorter. The Karagma, he may even offer it like, hey, this can cure all your problems because they were talking about how the Karagma gonna be able to heal, certain illnesses. People who were blind are actually getting their sight back, So lying wonder, one amazing lying wonders, And Esau's gonna try to deceive people into getting it. Look, this person had monkeypox. Now look when they took the chip, So he's gonna show a lot of advertising, a lot of videos, so he could get people chipped up. Mostly Jake, ultimately Jake, because Esau he's finished. These heathens, they don't. Yeah, who cares? The Lord don't care about them. He's not worried about them. He's worried about his Israel. Honestly, his hopeful elect, because the elect are not gonna take it. Lord's won't bring that number. But ultimately Esau is after Israel because he's a bitter old man. That's what Esau is, a bitter old man about the birthright. But yeah, Esau's, this country's finished. Pestilence and diseases everywhere, right? Wars happening everywhere. I just seen a video where the desert has a river of water coming out of it. I'm like, where the hell did the water come from in the middle of a desert? So this is telling you that the signs in the time there's hail in Mexico, hail, snow, basically snowing in Mexico during June. Man, the moon is turning red. That's been going on for a while. The twilight, the solar eclipse, right? People seeing apparitions. Crime rate is going up. People are stabbing, crashing, killing each other, screaming. This is it. This is the end of Esau's world, his rulership. But this is the beginning of ours. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Yeah, I'm just Salaki. I'm just thinking that I get that. I'm gonna get it right now. Actually, get one more scripture. Matthew 20:16. So the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few are chosen. So this is it for Esau. He was born first, but he shall end up last, and we were the last. we're gonna be first. Cause we grabbing onto his hill. And I see it in that way. But for many be called, but few are chosen, so so this is it, for Esau. This is it. There's no coming back, man. Esau thinks he's gonna come back in power. The return of Esau, man, get the hell out. Like this is a movie. No, man, because Esau's talking about we're gonna fight back and forth. Like, no, man, you're not. The return of the Edomites, the Idumeans from Macedonia. Nah, get the freak. The spawn of Satan strikes again. It's kind of like Esau's gonna have a great comeback. No, man, man. It's over. It's finished. You're going into slavery after this. And you deserve it. You deserve it. Everything you've done throughout the world. But that, I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to all Yakim on the highways and byways. Till next time, I say Shalom.